Tolley.
Mr Chair, thank you. I'm pleased to stand tonight and talk to this bill and the supplementary order paper in particular that affects the purpose of this bill, narrows the scope of this bill. And I have to say, as I start, that I don't think there's any doubt that everyone in this House wants every single New Zealand child to be able to live a full and successful life and have all the things that all of us want for our children. But we do come to this House with different expectations and different understandings about what's going to make a difference to many of those children that we're hearing about tonight. I have to say that I'm delighted that in fact there has been some concession from the promoter of this bill that the government's Budget 2014 package, a considerable package, $500 million focused on children, has been reasonably successful. And that's a concession that the opposition have made, and we accept that. That was a very comprehensive package. I don't have to go into the details of it because we all know, and we've talked about it through the campaign, but it's a big piece of work that involves healthcare, early childhood education, children's teams focused on protecting our most vulnerable children from abuse and neglect. Parental tax credit increased substantially from $70 a week to $220 a week, and extending it out from the 2 weeks to the 10 weeks, and of course extending paid parental leave. So that is a big comprehensive package, and that really is what this is all about. If we are determined, as we all seem to be, to make such a difference to those young New Zealanders, then it's not just one thing. And focusing on paid parental leave might at the edges make a difference, but actually most of those children are in really complex situations, and it's going to take a very complex solution to address their problems. So the narrowing of the bill now to those families where those children that are born that have a disability, or where the baby's premature, or where there are multiple births, as I say, as a concession. But actually, you've got to look at what is already being done in this area. And I'm sorry, but I think that the promoter of the bill, in conceding that national government is doing a really good job in addressing those issues, has missed the mark. So if we just take a moment to go through what is in fact happening already for families that this supplementary paper is addressing, we think we've got the balance right. That's right. So if you are a family and you have a multiple birth, if you have twins and you already have another child under 5, or you have triplets or quadruplets, the work and income multiple birth home help payments kick in. They're not means tested, they're available for all those people, and that gives real down-to-earth practical help in the home with all those bits and pieces that all of us that have had children know can be so overwhelming in those early days, especially if you've got more than one baby. So that's the first thing that the government currently provides. There's Working for Families tax credits, again, through the Inland Revenue. And Inland Revenue provides 4 types of payments for families with dependent children who are 18 years or younger. And a family with those multiple births may well be entitled to those payments, depending on the age of other dependent children and their family income and where that income comes from. So already 2 major streams of assistance to those families. Plus, of course, work and income there's a whole range of extra financial support for those families in special circumstances, and multiple births, of course, are always special circumstances. So there's help with accommodation, there's help with childcare, and there's a range of other grounds. So there is already a great deal of assistance for those parents of multiple birth children, twins, triplets, etc. From the disability angle, so families that find themselves with a brand new baby that has a disability, Mr Chair.
The Honourable Anne Tolley.
We have our disability support services, of course, who put wraparound services around those families, and there's a whole range of initiatives that the government provides to give assistance to those families, and time doesn't allow, Mr Chair, for me to go into the details of that, but suffice it to say that there is considerable assistance for those families. Disability support services are in the process of putting in new national specialist behaviour support service for children and adults with challenging behaviour. Now, this is something that I have heard consistently in this House called for. That sort of initiative is underway and providing assistance, and of course the work that's being done around the autism spectrum disorder, which seems to be expanding as we speak. A great deal of help and assistance going in to help those families that find themselves in the circumstances with a newborn that is suffering from some of those disorders. And then the final group that this SOP is addressing are the premature births. And of course the maternity quality and safety program has been implemented to make sure that women and their babies get that same standard high quality care right throughout New Zealand. It was rolled out to all DHBs in 2012 and is funded at $2.8 million a year for 4 years. And that is showing signs of local clinical improvement, particularly around those women with premature births, and we know the extra care and attention that they need. So, Mr Chair, what I'm saying is, as well-intentioned as this SOP has been, conceding that all that other very specialist wraparound comprehensive care is being provided, National unfortunately cannot support this, given that there is already considerable help going into these families. We think we've got the balance about right, and we'll continue to evaluate and monitor and the structures that are being put throughout New Zealand with the social sector trials now going from 0 to 18, the children's teams being rolled out. We think we're getting a very good picture of what's actually happening on the ground, and so unfortunately we cannot support this bill.